Chosen one, stop whatever you are doing right now, because what I am about to speak into your life is not something you stumbled upon by accident. If you skip this, you miss the very moment your destiny takes shape. You were led to this moment. You did not choose this video. Something deeper brought you here. The restlessness you felt today, the quiet pain in your chest that you could not fully explain to anyone around you, that feeling was a signal. It was your spirit recognizing that a word was waiting for you, and you followed that signal here. I need you to understand something before we go any further. The season you've been walking through is not the end of your story. What looks like a wall in front of you is actually a door. What feels like silence from heaven is not neglect, it is preparation. And what seems like delay is not punishment, it is positioning. You are exactly where you need to be, even if your surroundings do not yet reflect that truth. If this message is talking to you directly, take your time to like this video and subscribe so you won't miss our daily messages. My beloved child, there is something about you that the people around you have not been able to see clearly. They look at your life and they notice the struggle. They see the tired expression you carry when you think no one is watching. They see the moment when you go quiet at gatherings because something heavy is living inside your mind. But they do not understand what that weight is really made of. They see the surface. I see everything beneath it. I see the number of nights you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, carrying questions you did not know how to pray into words. I see the times you forced a smile, because the people around you needed your strength, even when your own reserves were nearly empty. I see the moment you considered walking away from faith altogether, not out of rebellion, but out of exhaustion. You were not angry at me, you were simply tired. And yet, even in that moment of deepest weariness, something inside you held on. That holding on was not weakness masquerading as strength. It was one of the most courageous things a human heart can do. To continue believing when the evidence around you seems to contradict the promises you were given. That kind of faith does not go unnoticed in heaven. It does not pass quietly without leaving a mark on eternity. I want you to understand something. The very fact that you are still here, still searching, still open to receiving a word that tells me everything about the kind of soul you carry. You have not hardened. You have not closed yourself off completely. Even after everything life has brought against you, your spirit is still soft enough to receive. And that softness is a gift that many people lose along the way. You did not lose it, and because of that, what I am about to release into your life will find exactly the right places to land. Type yes, Lord, if this is speaking to your heart right now. Let me speak plainly about the weight you have been carrying, because I want you to know that I understand it in a way that no human voice fully can. There has been a pressure building in your life, not one single problem, but a combination of pressures arriving at the same time. You have felt pulled in multiple directions at once. The demands of people who depend on you have not lessened, yet your personal resources have felt thinner than usual. Financial stress has found its way into moments that should have been peaceful. Relationships that once felt steady have developed cracks you are not sure how to repair. Health concerns, either your own or someone you love, have quietly taken up residence in the back of your mind. And through all of it, you have continued to function, you have continued to show up. You have continued to give what little you had left, even on the days when giving felt impossible. That kind of endurance does not go unseen. Every morning you chose to rise when your heart wanted to stay still. I counted that as courage. Every time you prayed, even though the words felt hollow and uncertain, I heard every syllable. Every act of kindness you extended to someone else during a season when you yourself needed kindness. That became a seed that has been growing in ways you cannot yet see. I want you to stop carrying the narrative that you are behind. The world moves according to timelines, but miracles do not. The breakthrough I am preparing for your life is not operating on a schedule that your circumstances understand. It is moving according to a deeper rhythm, one that knows exactly when you are ready, exactly when your heart can hold what it is about to receive, and exactly when the timing will create the most beautiful result. You are not behind. You are exactly on time. Type 1111 if you receive this truth into your spirit today. My child, I want to address something that has lived quietly in the back of your heart for a long time now. You have wondered whether certain prayers were heard. Not all of them. There are some requests you carry with complete confidence. But there is a specific category of prayer, a particular area of your life where you have asked again and again, and the silence has grown so long that you began to wonder if perhaps you had misunderstood something. Perhaps you thought, this particular door was simply not meant to open for you. I need you to hear me on this, that prayer was received. Every version of it, the articulate ones you prayed on your knees in a quiet room, and the desperate, wordless ones you breathed out while driving or lying awake or staring at something that reminded you of the very thing you needed. I received them all. I filed none of them away as irrelevant. I dismissed none of them as too small or too large. What looks like silence from where you are standing is not silence on my end. The delay you have experienced in this particular area has been a process of preparation, not a process of denial. The answer to that prayer requires conditions that did not yet exist when you first asked. It requires a version of you that had not yet been shaped by the experiences you have walked through. It requires circumstances in the lives of other people to align in ways that take time to arrange. The miracle you have been waiting for is not lost. It has been in construction. And now, as you stand in this very moment, more of those conditions are in place than at any previous point. The version of you sitting here today, with the patience you have developed, the wisdom your pain has produced, the quiet strength that has grown from surviving seasons you were not sure you would survive, that version of you is ready in ways the earlier version was not. The prayer is about to be answered, not in spite of the wait, but because of it. Type receive it if you are believing in a long-awaited answer today. My beloved child, even as you are receiving these words, something is shifting in the unseen spaces of your life. I want to describe it to you so that when the signs begin appearing, your heart will recognize them rather than dismissing them as coincidence. The first thing you will begin to notice is a subtle but real change in your peace. There will be moments, perhaps beginning today, perhaps as soon as you finish receiving this word, where the anxiety that has followed you begins to loosen its grip slightly. It will not disappear in an instant, but you will notice that the weight you wake up carrying feels fractionally lighter. You will notice that you can breathe a little more easily in moments that would previously have constricted your chest. Do not underestimate this sign. Peace arriving where anxiety lives is not a small thing. It is evidence that the atmosphere around your life is beginning to change. The second shift you will notice is in the area of clarity. For a season you have felt confused, not about everything, but about a specific direction. You have known what you want, but you have not been able to see a clear path toward it. That fog is beginning to thin. Moments of unexpected clarity will come to you, in the quiet of early morning, in the middle of an ordinary task, sometimes through words spoken by someone who does not even realize the weight of what they said. Pay attention to those moments, write them down if you need to. They are not random thoughts, they are directions. The third shift will arrive through people. Someone, or perhaps more than one person, is about to enter your path who carries something you need. This may be a resource, an opportunity, a piece of knowledge, a connection, or simply an encouragement that arrives at the exact moment your spirit needs to hear it. I have already been arranging this. The person is already moving toward your path even as you receive this word. Your only task is to remain open, to resist the cynicism that past disappointments have tried to build around your heart, and to receive what arrives with a spirit of expectation. These three shifts are already in motion. Watch for them. My child, I want to speak to you about the seasons of darkness you have walked through, because I know that some of those seasons left marks on your identity that you have never fully addressed. When you went through the hardest experiences of your life, the losses, the betrayals, the disappointments that arrived wearing the face of promise, something happened inside you that had two possible outcomes. It either hardened you or it deepened you, and while I will not pretend that hardness did not try to take root, what I can tell you is what I saw win in the end. Depth 1. Compassion 1. Hope battered and slower than it once was, but still breathing 1. The sensitivity you now carry for other people in pain is not a weakness you developed by accident. It grew directly from the pain you survived. The wisdom in your counsel when you speak to someone who is struggling lands with a weight that comfortable words never carry. It lands because it comes from somewhere real. People can feel that, even the ones who never ask where your understanding comes from. They feel it, and it reaches places inside them that polished advice cannot touch. What you endured has become a tool in your hands. You may not always know when you are using it. You may have conversations you consider ordinary that quietly save someone who was closer to the edge than you knew. Your presence in certain rooms, the quiet steadiness you bring simply by having survived, shifts things that you will never see tallied in any visible ledger. You are more powerful than you understand, not in a way the world recognizes, but in the way that matters most, in the way that changes lives and leaves invisible fingerprints on the direction of other people's stories. Never let the years of hardship convince you that they produced nothing. They produced you, the current, deeper, wiser, more compassionate version of you. And that version is exactly who the next chapter of your life requires. Type stronger if the dark seasons made you deeper instead of harder. There is an act of obedience in your recent past. A choice you made that cost you something. It may have cost you comfort or pride or a relationship or a version of the future you had planned for yourself. It did not feel miraculous when you made it. It may have felt like a loss. It may have felt like foolishness to the part of you that calculates outcomes in advance. But that act of obedience was the key, and what it unlocked you have not yet fully seen. When a person chooses to do the right thing at personal cost, especially when no one is watching, especially when the reward is not immediately visible, especially when every rational instinct is advising the opposite, heaven does not treat that as ordinary. It is never ordinary. It is the language of a heart that has decided something deeper than strategy. It has decided that integrity matters more than outcome, and that trust matters more than control. You spoke that language recently, and because you spoke it, doors are opening in places you have not yet looked. Some of these doors will present themselves as opportunities you did not pursue, situations that simply appear on your path without your engineering them. Others will come as restoration, the return of something you thought was permanently lost. Relationships that are fractured may show signs of healing. Resources that seemed exhausted may find unexpected replenishment. The door you thought had no key may quietly swing open on a morning when you are not even thinking about it. Watch the doors, my child. Keep your eyes open, because the openings will not all announce themselves with fanfare. Some of the most significant ones will look like ordinary moments until you step through them and look back. Type obedience if you are trusting God, even when you cannot see the result yet. Chosen one, there are people in your world who have drawn conclusions about your life based on a chapter they witnessed at your lowest point. They saw you struggling and decided they understood the full narrative. They may have spoken words over you, not always cruelly, sometimes even with a kind intention that placed a ceiling on your future. Words like, "This is just how things are for you," or "Be realistic," or quiet implications that you had somehow already reached the outer edge of what was possible for your life. I want you to release those words today. I want you to let them fall away from you like a garment that was never yours to wear. Those people saw a chapter. I wrote the whole book. And I am telling you now that the chapters ahead of you carry content that would silence every voice that tried to write you off. Not in a vengeful way, not to prove a point for the sake of pride, but in the most beautiful way possible. Your future will simply tell a story that all those limited assessments could not have predicted. The people who misread your situation did not have access to what I know. They did not know what you were made of at the deepest level. They did not understand the work I had been doing inside you during the very seasons they were using as evidence of your limitations. They saw the process and called it a conclusion, but the process was producing something extraordinary, and that something is now beginning to emerge. There will come a time, not distant but coming, when the evidence of your transformation will be visible to everyone who once doubted. You will not need to say a word. Your life will speak in a language that needs no translation, and in that moment, your only emotion will not be vindication. I will be grateful. Gratitude so deep that it replaces every old wound, because you will understand completely and peacefully that every single step, including the painful ones, was necessary to bring you here. Press the like button now, so this message reaches someone who needs to hear it tonight. I said earlier that something is shifting, and I want to return to that truth now and go deeper, because I do not want you to leave this moment without truly understanding what is already in motion for you. A miracle is not only a sudden, dramatic event that reverses circumstances in an instant. That form of miracle exists. I do not deny it, and some of you will experience that very thing in the days ahead. But the more complete definition of a miracle is any occurrence that could not have happened through human effort alone, any development that arrives in perfect timing, any restoration that logic said was impossible. By that definition, your miracle has already begun. The internal shifts I described, the peace beginning to replace anxiety, the clarity beginning to replace confusion, the right people beginning to move into your path, those are not coincidences softening your circumstances while you wait for the real thing. They are the real thing, arriving in the order that your life needs them. The miracle is not waiting somewhere in the future like a prize at the finish line. It is the path itself, transforming beneath your feet as you walk. It is the journey becoming lighter as you move. It is the options multiplying around you as your eyes open to possibilities you had stopped believing were available to you. And yes, there will also be visible, undeniable moments. There will be days when something specific happens. A phone call, an opportunity, an unexpected turn in a situation that had seemed fixed, and you will know, without any shadow of doubt, that I was the one who arranged it. Those moments are coming. I want you to receive them with open hands and an open heart. But do not spend the time between now and then looking only at the horizon for the dramatic. Look also at the quiet gifts arriving daily. The miracle is already here. Type 1212 if you are receiving your miracle by faith right now. My child, I want to speak to you about what your next season actually looks like, because I know that seasons of hardship can make it difficult to imagine a different future. When you have lived in a difficult season for long enough, its colors begin to feel permanent. The gray starts to feel like the only reality. But seasons change. That is their nature. And your next season carries colors you have not seen in a long time, possibly colors you have never seen before. In your next season, rest will feel different. Not the exhausted collapse you have been calling rest, but genuine renewal, the kind where you wake up and feel, at least on some mornings, that your energy actually belongs to you again. That reset is coming. In your next season, your gifts will find more room to breathe. There is something you are able to do, perhaps something you have always been able to do, or perhaps something that has been quietly developing through your suffering, that is about to find a larger stage, not necessarily a public stage. Sometimes the stage is a family, a small community, a single life profoundly impacted, but larger than the confinement you have been experiencing. Your gifts were not given to you for storage. They are meant to move. In your next season, the relationships that are truly meant to be part of your life will become clearer. Some connections that have been draining you will naturally shift away, not through conflict or pain, but simply through the quiet realignment that happens when a person's life moves into a new chapter. And in the space created by those departures, new connections will form. Connections that carry genuine mutual nourishment. People who sharpen you, encourage you, challenge you well, and celebrate your progress without jealousy. In your next season, provision will arrive in ways that restore your confidence in the future. I am not promising you an absence of challenges. Challenges are part of life, and they produce essential things. But I am telling you that the specific financial and material pressures that have been a constant presence in your mind will begin to ease. New sources of provision, some expected, some surprising, will appear. In your next season, the relationships that are truly meant to be part of your life will become clearer. Some connections that have been draining you will naturally shift away, not through conflict or pain, but simply through the quiet realignment that happens when a person's life moves into a new chapter. And in the space created by those departures, new connections will form. Connections that carry genuine mutual nourishment. People who sharpen you, encourage you, challenge you well, and celebrate your progress without jealousy. In your next season, provision will arrive in ways that restore your confidence in the future. I am not promising you an absence of challenges. Challenges are part of life, and they produce essential things. But I am telling you that the specific financial and material pressures that have been a constant presence in your mind will begin to ease. New sources of provision, some expected, some surprising, will appear. The numbers will begin to make more sense. The ceiling you have been bumping against will rise. This is the season coming. Hold on to it. Let this image live in your mind and your heart as a point of reference on the days when doubt tries to return and tell you that nothing is changing. Type next season if you are ready to step into what God has prepared. My beloved child, as we move toward the close of this time together, I want to speak plainly about your part in what is ahead, because miracles are not passive, blessings are not received by hearts that remain closed, and the transformation I am describing requires a partnership, not a performance, not a perfect record, not an absence of doubt or fear, but a genuine daily choice. I need you to choose faith over fear every single day, not because fear will stop visiting, it will, but because you do not have to let it drive. Let fear knock at the door, acknowledge it, and then invite faith to sit down at the table instead. I need you to guard your words about your own life. The way you speak about your situation in the quiet moments, to yourself, to people you trust, carries weight. When you speak defeat over yourself, you are reinforcing a story that I am actively trying to rewrite. Not every confession needs to be triumphant and loud, but let there be a quiet thread of possibility in the way you talk about your future. Let it be open-ended. Let it carry room for surprise. I need you to take the next step, even without the full picture. You will not always receive clear instructions with detailed outcomes before you are asked to move. Sometimes I will give you one step at a time, a door that seems right, a direction that feels peaceful, an opportunity that aligns with your purpose. Trust those signals, move on them. The full picture will clarify as you walk, not before you begin. And finally, I need you to take care of the one I entrusted with your purpose, which is you. Rest when you need to rest. Accept help when it is offered honestly. Nourish your spirit with things that remind you of hope. You cannot pour from an empty vessel, and the people who need what you carry cannot receive it from a version of you that has run completely dry. These are not heavy requirements. They are invitations toward a life that is already prepared for you. Your only task is to show up for it, imperfectly but faithfully. Type faithful if you are choosing to trust God one day at a time. I want you to leave this moment carrying something different than what you brought into it. I want you to leave carrying the certainty, not just the hope but the certainty that you have not been forgotten, that the prayers you have whispered in exhausted moments were all received, that the tears you have cried in private were all counted, that every morning you chose to keep going when staying still would have been easier was recognized as the act of courage it truly was. You are not a small story, you are not a footnote. You are not someone whose life will look back and tell a tale of consistent defeat and quiet resignation. You are someone whose story has twists ahead that your current chapter cannot predict. You are someone who is standing at the edge of a season that will restore your belief. Not just your belief in the miraculous, but your belief in yourself. There will be days, even after this moment, when doubt returns, when the old heaviness tries to settle back into its familiar places, when the wait feels long and the evidence feels thin. On those days, come back to this truth. The miracle that has been released over your life is not dependent on your ability to feel it at every moment. It is moving regardless. It is growing regardless. I am working regardless. Your faith does not need to be perfect for heaven to respond. It simply needs to be present. And today, by staying through this entire word, by receiving it rather than dismissing it, by letting it sit in the deeper places of your heart, you demonstrated that your faith is still alive. That living faith has already set things in motion that you will see. Hold on, my child. Keep walking. Keep believing. Keep showing up for your life, for the people who love you, for the purpose that was written on your heart before you were born. The best of your story is still ahead, and I will be with you on every single page of it. Type Amen and Amen if you receive this word completely into your life today. Make sure you subscribe for daily words of encouragement. Vertical bar. Share this with someone who needs hope right now. Vertical bar. New message drops every day.